It's Monday with the mayor, and we are in Huntingburg speaking with the mayor of Huntingburg, Denny Spinner. Denny, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bill.
I guess really this is your show because it's Monday with the mayor.
I guess welcome to my show. Yeah.
First of all, we're going to start off. Congratulations. The mayor of Huntingburg is now on the board of directors for IACT, which is the Indiana Association of Cities and Towns.
Correct.
What is IACT? What do they do?
IACT is basically an organization that does a lot of training, a lot of work with elected officials in cities and towns across the state of Indiana. We have a lot of work where, for example, newly elected officials, every time there's an election cycle, they have quite a bit of training for newly elected officials, getting them up to speed on the ways of government. They had mayor's school, for example, new mayor's school, and but also for elected officials across the board. They also do, we've had training on ADA, for example, or new tax laws, or anything that comes up that's maybe a change in the legislature or a change in the process. What IACT does is it helps provide a lot of education for elected officials and city employees. Another thing that it does, this time of year is a very busy time of year for them as well, with the legislature in session. They kind of keep track of the bills that have an effect on city government, whether it be taxes or new regulation, that type of thing. And they communicate with the mayors and the other elected officials and help us keep up to date on where those things are. There are also programs that IACT offers to cities and towns. One of the things, for example, we have the drug card here in the city of Huntingburg. They can take it's part of a drug program where they can take this card, go to the local pharmacy, get some discounted rates on their different medications, and that's part of a program that IACT works with a company to promote and to help save some monies along the way. So there's a lot of different things that IACT does. My role now on the board of directors, what happened was there was an opening came up because of a resignation. The board is made up of representatives from different size communities. There's Class 3, Class 2, Class 1 cities across the state of Indiana, and they want to have a equal representation across the scale on that. There was an opening for a Class 3 city because of a resignation, and my name came up. I was nominated and have been elected to the board to fill out a term, which will end at the end of this year. So it's a great honor for me personally to be selected for that. But for the city of Huntingburg, I think what it does is it keeps us kind of in play. It's nice to know that Huntingburg's voice is valued across the state of Indiana, and we're going to kind of be looked at to help provide some leadership for small communities, which is something we want to do. And it's just an honor for me personally, but also for the city of Huntingburg to have that voice in a statewide organization of this stature.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
It truly is an honor for Southern Indiana to have you on the board.
Well,
good luck with you. And you know, there's probably that certain amount of networking that you get being part of that there's just little things you'll pick up that are just immeasurable.
For example, I can give you an example of that. The mayor of Marion, Indiana, is a gentleman named Wayne Seabold, who has done an outstanding job in Marion, and they deal with a lot of issues, in a little bit larger scale than maybe Huntingburg does. But one of the issues that the city of Marion was tackling was, how do we deal with abandoned properties? So that's the same issue that we have. That's somewhere across the state. The communities across the state are facing that same thing. Through that communication, through IACT, through a connection with Mayor Seabold, we were able to go to Marion, myself and our code enforcement officer, spend a day with him and his code enforcement people, talked about the process that they could do. So that kind of connection is very invaluable, and it's paid off for us in helping us understand the process and kind of fine-tune some of the things that we're doing with a similar program. And those kind of connections happen all the time.
Okay, now, coming up tomorrow night is the Main Street meeting here in Huntingburg.
Right. Actually, it's tomorrow afternoon.
Okay.
It'll be at the Old National Bank, the Chamber of Commerce offices on the second floor here at 4th and Main. And it's at 2 o'clock. And it's very important. It's the second time we've had this meeting. The Main Street program is something that Huntingburg has been involved in the past, but our status lapsed because of some of the inactivity at one point. And we're trying to revive this, and Nick Stevens with our chamber is kind of spearheading the effort at this point. But at some point, it will become, in our mind, an organization that will kind of stand on its own. It'll be a combination of downtown people, perhaps citizens in the area, anybody who's really interested in some downtown work, downtown revitalization. This is a very important program. There's a set of committees that will be set up. Representatives from the Office of Community and Rural Affairs will be here at this meeting at 2 o'clock to help explain more of those things. And what this does, Bill, as a Main Street community, if you receive that designation from the state of Indiana, and it's actually under the Lieutenant Governor's office, that's just it gives you one little check mark by your name as you start looking for funding for different projects that, yes, they're a participant in the Main Street program. So that's one of the things from the city side. It makes us eligible for some funding in areas that what we want to do. But it is also a very organized way to provide community input and direction on exactly what we want to do with some of our areas downtown. One of the exciting things about the Main Street program now is under the new leadership, under Lieutenant Governor Ellspermann and her new director of OCRA, Dax Norton, they're looking at how maybe looking at this in a different way than Main Street has been done traditionally. And part of this meeting on Tuesday will help explain that to us. So it's going to expand the program some, where traditionally we might think, in Huntingburg, we might think downtown or Main Street is 4th and Main. Well, they're asking us to maybe look beyond that. Let's look at the neighborhoods that surround that, because they have a direct impact on the community, on the downtown as well, because of the residential spaces, but also those are the people that will be most likely to walk down 4th Street and shop there. So there's going to be some new ideas that the folks at OCRA are looking at from Main Street. We want to be on the front line of that, so I would really encourage people, if they can't come tomorrow at 2 o'clock, there'll be other opportunities to serve, I'm sure, and to keep your eyes open for that. But that meeting tomorrow at 2, I think, will be very informative and I think very exciting for our community.
Okay, and they can just show up. You don't
just come on up, and we enjoyed. Anybody's welcome to come and hear what's being presented, and of course we want to hear your comments.
Okay, now let's move to the park.
Okay.
There are some exciting things going on. Yeah, there is some work being done for the water park and renovations to the stadium.
I know the water park was something that people had a lot of interest in going on. The work has begun. The plan is for that water park to be open when the pool opens in this season. The initial plumbing work was completed right around the first of the year, but then the weather kind of took over and kind of slowed things down. We have to wait for the weather to be in the right place for the concrete work and that goes along with that. But if you've driven by the park lately, there's a pretty big pile of dirt right in that area right now. But again, we're waiting for the weather to change. But the infrastructure part of it has been pretty well in place, and waiting for the weather to break for the completion of that project. And I know that'll be something that our citizens and those who come to visit the pool will enjoy for years to come. League Stadium is a little bit of work that will be going on there in the very near future. We're very excited about the Bombers this year. There's some new local ownership in the Bombers, and we've had a very good working relationship with them and looking at ways to improve our facility and improve the experience of baseball at League Stadium. For those of you who have been to the stadium before, if you remember, there was maybe in the early years, the concession area was located right underneath the stands. In the main gate, you kind of hung to the left, and there was the concession area there. That concession is now moved out toward the Hardball Cafe down the third base line, but that space is now being converted from a concession area into a gift shop. And the gift shop will carry items from League Stadium. It'll carry Bombers merchandise. It'll be staffed by a Peach. The girls that were in the stadium last year as the Peaches. They'll be staffed during games. But also, what we're looking at and working with the Bombers is a way to staff that over a 4-month period during the summertime, that we can promote tours to come down. So there's something, as the tour buses come in, or maybe somebody pulls off of I-64 and wants to get a tour of the stadium, there'll be somebody there to give them that tour, to offer them some merchandise if they would like, but just to get more of a tourist presence for the League Stadium, which is such a unique structure, such a unique location, that we want to look at ways to promote that. So Du Bois County Tourism has been very instrumental in helping provide some of the funding to do the renovation. There's also funds we're going to use from our edit fund that can for promotion of the stadium over the summer. So if you're down in the park area and you see some work going on, that part of the stadium is being renovated, and then you should see a new gift shop there as the stadium opens for business this year.
Exciting things.
It's looking good.
All right, well, Mayor, thank you very much.
Thank you, Bill.
Our guest has been Mayor Denny Spinner, City of Huntingburg, and again, congratulations, now on the Board of Directors for IAC, the Association for Cities and Towns.
Correct.
Will be very good for Huntingburg and for this area. Thank you for watching Monday with the Mayor.